For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Matthew Williamson, and I'm the Director of the Learning Enhancement and Academic Development Service, and we have organised this symposium today. As you know, this is a slightly different format than we've had for the last couple of years for our learning and teaching events. In the past couple of years, we've had a 2-day conference. This year, we've got 2 half-day symposia, sandwiching a day conference in the middle. I'd like to say this was for deep pedagogic reasons and all sorts of things, but it wasn't. It was because we couldn't get rooms for a 2-day event. But we've made a virtue of necessity, so hopefully this will be a worthwhile experience for you. We're going to be talking today about accessibility and inclusivity. What we've decided to do with this symposium is, rather than have a range of topics, pick one topic that had a coherent set of, or vaguely coherent set of presentations for the day. And we're very pleased that Stephany Biello, who has led the development of the Accessible and Inclusive Learning Policy, to open the day. Stephany's Dean for Science and Engineering, hasn't been Dean for very long. So she's going to talk to us, open our session for us today, and then we'll go into our presentations. So I hope you have a really good day. I hope it's worthwhile and that you learn a lot and that you get to know some people you don't already know. I'll just get out of the way. Yeah, have a good day. Thanks very much.
I've been very interested in accessibility for a while now, and it was great to see this. There was a workshop on it last year, and again this year there's more time dedicated to a really important issue. So we have inclusivity and internationalization, and I think it's interesting to think of those two things together. I think we're always broadening our view of what inclusivity means, as we should. Okay, so it's great to see so many people here and so many people engaged with the topic. And like I said, I've been engaged with the topic for a while, and I'm used to going to events within the university or external to the university and sort of convincing people that inclusivity is important and what the benefits are. So saying, these are the benefits to education, these are the benefits to well-being, these are the benefits to efficiency of being inclusive. But when I considered what to say to you guys this morning, I thought, I don't need to tell you that. And I know the pain of going to a talk on something that you already know about. So you guys are all here because you're interested in this topic and it's important to you. So I don't need to convince you that this is an important topic. I need to hear from you because you are the ones who are presenting the evidence base today, the evidence base that we are going to move on and make decisions for. So I'm going to talk to you really very briefly. I just have a few slides, I promise. I think about 5 maybe. And then what I'm just going to do is I'm going to ask you to engage. We had we've had some really useful consultations going forward to the new learning and teaching strategy. We've had Amanda and Moira have come around to the colleges and had a really, I think they formed really good questions. And I had Elle from Leeds help us look at those questions, and we just have 2 questions where we'd like to get your input. And we have a QR code and a tiny URL, so you can do it on your phone or online if you want to. We also have paper copies. So I'm just going to tell you just 1 or 2 things about why I'm so excited about this here at the university right now, and then I'm going to ask for your input. Okay, so what we know is that this is something that our students care about a lot. There was data that was collected in November 2019, and that was via survey and via student workshops. And there's a whole plethora of data that was collected to try to help the university really move forward with their learning and teaching strategy. And one of the things that it talked to the students about is what should be prioritized. And it was really heartening to see that inclusivity was something that was really high on their agenda. It was one of the top 6 things. When I put this slide up, I thought to myself, of course they're going to want to know, what are the other 5 things? So I did write them down for you. Excellence in teaching, well-being, sustainability, collaboration, and transparency. So I think that those are all really important things, but it's great to see that inclusivity is something that's super important and really, really high on the students' agenda. So in response to the growing need for thinking about inclusivity, we worked on generating the Accessible Inclusive Learning Policy for the university. And these are just 2 of the infographics that I don't know if I see Dr. Horlin here yet, but she will be coming from psychology, and she helped us generate these. And we had an infographic that was generated for students and one that was generated for staff. This is when the policy was put into place. And we did a lot of consultation on it, and I'm not going to go through that with you. But what I wanted to say was that in addition to it being really important to the students, our evaluation of the accessible and inclusive learning policy has really shown us that this is a super important issue for staff as well. So our students care a lot about it, but our staff care about it as well. So we've done an evaluation. Most of this work was done last year. We collected data via survey and staff and student focus groups. We had super outstanding participation. It's something that I really highlight, is that we know that students are overwhelmed with surveys and information that they're given to participate in. We were really helped by the SRC worked really collaboratively with us on this, and we were able to get a really high number of students who responded to it. And it wasn't like the NSS that they were emailed all the time reminding them that they hadn't participated. So again, it's really important to students. They participated well in this. We had staff uptake into the focus groups in particular, but we had some staff who filled out the survey as well. And what we found out was that the staff tell us there was a theme of satisfaction that came out, and that was where staff highlighted that they felt satisfied and pleased by being empowered to implement the policy. So people saying, I feel like I'm doing my bit to really allow students who might otherwise struggle be supported to learn. And that was a service staff member. So we had input from academic staff and also from service staff. And there was a real feeling among the responses that people felt like it was something that was important to them. There was a lot of different results from the survey, but the one salient to it being important to our staff and important to our students was something that came out of the student survey. One of my favorites, the survey portion that went to the students, one of the favorite things that came out was 64% of the students indicated that teaching materials were often or always provided in advance. That doesn't sound so great. It should be 100%, right? That's what we want. That's what the policy says. The good thing that came out of it was that there was a theme of responsiveness, where students consistently described that schools were responsive. Schools and services were responsive. So what we want to do, our ultimate goal, is to provide things in advance so that we can allow ease of access for people. When people are getting up to speed and implementing the policy, the idea that when they were missing the mark, when people were alerted to it, they responded very quickly and were able to bring things up to speed. So I guess I just wanted to start off by saying thank you very much. Thank all of you, the staff and the students at the university, for this being an important issue for them, one that they're willing to take time. It's hard. We all have super busy workloads. It's hard to take the time, but this is something that's really important. It's important to our students, it's important to our staff, and it's something that we should be committing the time to. We're moving forward in an evidence-based way, and this is just a list of I was really heartened to see the wide variety of talks that we're going to hear today. And this is where certainly we're all going to get ideas on what types of things and how can we take forward inclusivity at the university. The talks that are being given will give us clues to that. But what we also want to do is we want to hear from you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a slide that has a QR code on it, and then there's going to be a tiny URL, and then there's also going to be paper copies. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you guys a few minutes to have a look at the questions and respond some now, but you can also come back to it. These are the two questions that are going to come up, but they'll be on the, you can get to it via online, or you can have a written copy. So what I'd really like is to have you think about what are the ways that you think we could take this on in the university, and what do you think some of the barriers will be? And on the written piece of paper, as well as on the web form, you'll be able to see the way that the question's worded, and this is the first one. So thank you very much, and I will bring you back together at the end. You can keep that paper through the day if you have a hard copy, and if things occur to you while the talks are going on, I'd love for you to add to it. Also, there'll be a QR code up at the very end that's one that you should be able to log in, that you should be able to go back into through the day and add things if you get more ideas. And that's because you are really where we draw our best ideas from. You're the ones who are working on the ground and can really give us the best ideas on how to take things forward. So thank you very much for all the time and effort you've put in so far, and thank you for the help that you're going to give us now. Thanks.